Good evening, everybody. This is your host, Huge Pop, and the Huge Pop Wrestling Podcast. We are wrestling with purpose. We are Reek, and Huge Pop himself are here tonight. We're just going to talk wrestling because we haven't talked wrestling in quite a bit of time, Rico and I. We're going to go through everything from AEW Dynasty to SmackDown from Friday to how shitty those Raw tag team belts look. To you name it, we're gonna go over a lot of stuff. So I don't know. We could talk. I mean, let's sit back and talk about first what's the major big thing that even pertains to Monday Night Raw tonight, and that's I hate to say it. I hate this idea. I hate seeing anything happen. But man, Rico, last Monday when Rhea Ripley walks into the ring and lays down the title and says, I have to give it up because I'm injured.
Right. Well, when she said you already know what's going on, it was kind of like, yeah, when somebody walks down with the title, not very happy looking, and they got a brace on or something like that, it's never good news.
No. And it sucks because it's never good news. And as much as I crap on her all the time because of the Judgment Day, you hate seeing stuff like that happen. I mean, it's just, you don't ever wish anything on that,
Look at Roman Reigns when he gave up the title, he had to give it up. Everybody was hating on him, but that moment when he announced that he had to relinquish the title due to leukemia, everyone got on board with him, supported him immediately.
Yeah, Becky Lynch when she was pregnant. No, was it Becky Lynch? Yeah,
Becky. Because remember, that's when Asuka won the Money in the Bank.
Yeah,
and she's like, "I got a surprise for you." It was actually the title. But did you see what I liked was that reaction from Asuka was a genuine reaction, like she didn't know.
Yes,
like she was like, "You mother."
Yes, and it's like. Like stuff like that is good to see in a business, and they have this big Monday night, they have this big match tonight. I think it's isn't it not a battle royal? What they have some match going on tonight for that title.
I knew what was going to happen, but after Friday, I kind of lost track because.
So it says the how talented there's a big, I guess there's some kind of match that's gonna settle the score who's the next world's champion. But so on the Raw roster, who would be that girl? Who's the one? Who's the next one?
I mean, honestly, just being honest. But wait a minute, are they having that tonight? Or are they having that for after the draft?
Yeah, see, I don't know. I mean, that's the thing. I have no Monday Night Raw. I'm pulling Monday Night Raw up, and I'm going to see.
Just because my thought process on that, man, is and I'm not knocking any of the girls on Raw. Out of the ones that are on Raw right now, I would say it's either Natty or Liv.
Right.
But there's where I say you throw a little toss up in there, and on the draft, you have Tiffany Stratton go to Raw, and she becomes a contender.
So there's a battle royal tonight. Battle royal for the vacant women's title. After the announcement of Rhea Ripley that she must vacate the women's title due to injury, a new champion will now be crowned live in a battle royal on Monday Night Raw. The battle royal will consist of Becky Lynch, Shayna Baszler, Zoe Starks, Natalya, Tegan Knox, Ivy Nile, Maxine Dupree, Katana Chance, Caden Carter, Nia Jax, Liv Morgan, Piper Niven, Chelsea Green, Candice LeRae, and Indy Hartwell.
I'm going to say it's going to come down to Becky or Nia. And I'm going with Nia.
And I'm not going to say you're wrong. I hope you're wrong. I'm not going to say, but I personally would bring it down to Becky Lynch, Unfortunately, Nia Jax, yeah. And even Liv Morgan. It makes sense for Liv Morgan to be in there in that final, near the end of it, because she's the one that took Rhea Ripley out. Back, if you remember right.
Yeah, and that's why, like, when she did the interview on Monday and stuff, I was like, I think they, might give her a push.
Right. So I don't know, man. I would go with Becky Lynch. I'd like to see Becky Lynch and Liv Morgan in at the end, and we can talk about the results tomorrow when we show up again tomorrow on the Top Wrestling Podcast.
So sorry, I just want to change it real quick because now, really thinking about it, I really believe that Liv's going to take it. Really thinking about how things have been going down.
Right.
I mean, because you can have Becky take it and she can carry that belt.
Right.
But we've talked about it before. Becky doesn't need a belt to be Becky.
No. And Liv Morgan, I think it's her time. I think she's earned it. I think needs it. And I wouldn't be hurt if she does win it. That'd be, in my opinion, Liv Morgan.
But what about the surprise entrant? If she's coming back tonight.
Who would that be?
Alexa Bliss.
That would be sick. I mean, again, yeah, there's a lot that could happen. I mean, Alexa Bliss could come back. You could see a start of the Fiend, or that era again. All I know is what has happened in the last couple weeks with SmackDown mostly and Raw. You're gonna see a lot of stuff that we have not been used to seeing.
Mm-hmm.
KO. I mean, I'll say this and just bring this up before we talk about SmackDown, but KO came out of the back so bloodied up. That's the thing that Triple H wants to do but couldn't do, but now he can.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like introducing a new era to professional wrestling, and I'm excited. Yeah. But so would it be out of the question that Alexa Bliss comes back and that would be okay with me. I'd be okay with that.
Because I mean, I've really been thinking about Alexa just because of the whole the barcode. You scan it, it shows that picture, and I can't remember who put it up, but it was something where it showed that picture, then a sculpture, and then it went to a more defined picture, and it was Alexa Bliss in the Abigail the Witch outfit. And I just said, "Whoa, that would look sweet." I mean, because all the pieces coming together, Bo and Taylor, talking about, like he wants to come back and kind of bring that stuff back, and they're giving us these hints like they used to with Bray when he was about to come back.
Yeah, I would not be upset if you've seen Uncle Howdy come back. That'd be freaking cool. And that I would be cool to have him just come back and Alexa Bliss be with him. She wouldn't even have to be in that battle royal.
Nope.
Her just being on Raw again would be amazing.
Or, I mean, like for me, like the best way to do it, not best way to do it, but one of the great ways to do it is have a beef with someone.
Yeah.
Who's in the battle royal. She pops up out of nowhere, lights go out, she come back on, there she is, and causes that person to get eliminated.
Yeah. I can't remember.
Does the tormenting.
Who did she have beef out of that list that we named? Who was she with the last having a beef with? Was it? Who was that? I don't know if they're on the list or not at all. I mean,
who was Alexa? The last person she really kind of battled against back and forth was Nia.
Nia? I mean, maybe she cost Nia Jax the last spot, the winner to win the battle royal, and again, there Liv Morgan is to clean up the mess, and I don't know.
Well, because remember years ago when Alexa cashed in her Money in the Bank and beat Nia for the belt.
Yeah.
Nia's really never forgiven her for that.
Nope, not at all. Not at all. So yeah. So that battle royals tonight, sadly to say, we've seen the end. We won't see the end of Rhea Ripley. She'll be back. And when she comes back, I'm sorry, whoever has the belt, you're in for a world of hurt.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Whoever gets it, when she comes back, it's game time.
Yeah, and it's sad. You hate to see that happen. You hate to see people go through that, and we're talking about it while we're on female wrestlers that have to step away. I think Saturday night or Friday night AEW, Ruby Soho announced that she has to step away because she's pregnant.
That's right. I heard about that.
So she, in the middle of the ring, she's dating a guy, and of course, don't hate me for not knowing, but an AEW superstar is her husband, and she told him live in the ring that she's pregnant, and so that was pretty cool to see her. She's one of my favorite female wrestlers. I love seeing her.
She's good.
I think on her, I said this before about 6 to 8 months ago. She's one of those girls that gets underutilized, if that makes any sense, for how good she is. Unless I don't know good wrestling, and maybe I just like the person. But I think that AEW underutilized her, WWE underutilized her. She's phenomenal, and it's just like, come on, guys, now you're not going to be able to for another 9 or 10 months. So.
Yep, and I said the same thing, man, because you watched her in WWE, the Riot Squad, and then she started doing stuff by herself, and you seen her going like this, and all of a sudden she just stays like this, and then she's gone.
Yeah.
And as she goes to AEW, I was like, all right, sweet, here we go. She's gonna get a chance to shine.
Yeah.
Not really.
Not really. So, but yeah, those are just two of the announcements of the female wrestlers that have been put on the shelf, so to speak, whether it's from being pregnant or being injured. So it's sad to see that, but you wish them well. You wish them the very best, and hope to see them back again. And so that's a good question for you, Rico. With Rhea Ripley going away, my opinion, and again, that's only my opinion. And my opinion does not have to be Rico's opinion, does not have to be anybody else's opinion on the show or people watching. It's just my opinion. I feel that that's going to hurt the direction that the Judgment Day is going.
I mean, I honestly do have to agree with that, because whether you like it or not, and I believe everybody would agree with what I'm about to say, Rhea is the main attraction of Judgment Day. She really is. Nothing against, and even Damien. Damien's freaking awesome. I love him.
Yeah. Yep.
But this is where I see Damien, and this is where I see Rhea. And so I don't. Yeah, no, I agree with you. She is.
So do you have to keep that faction going? I think you have two choices. You break it up and somehow mix the draft in it, or you add the winner of the Royal Rumble or the Battle Royal, and she gets helped by Judgment Day on this Battle Royal, and she comes in with the belt to replace Rhea Ripley. And in that state, you better have somebody like it would make sense to bring Liv Morgan there. And that would be you could go jealousy ways, but what do you do with them? I don't know. I don't know what you would do with the Judgment Day, because in my opinion, like you said, Rhea Ripley's the main attraction. Hands down. Not taking nothing away from Damien, Damien Priest, but that's the only belt that's left there. They don't have tag team belts no more. Dirty Dom is Dirty Dom. JD McDum is doing whatever. And all you got is Damien Priest. And to me, the faction worked because you had a badass and a bad bitch. and that's what made Judgment Day.
See, I think the way to make them work and to keep them together to show their strength is you have Finn getting the Intercontinental title. And then JD and Dirty Dom can get the tag titles. That's the only way I see that faction staying together and staying strong. Damien can hold it together. He really can. But it's not going to be as powerful without Rhea.
Right. You know, and I'm not taking anything against Ricochet and Andrade. Not at all. But they got a match tonight against Dom, and JD. And I'm like, okay, there's the Judgment Day thing. And I'm like, it's not exciting. It's just not exciting. And I hate to say it. It's not Rhea's fault for getting hurt. But Judgment Day they're going to need to do something to keep it interesting, at least. And I don't know how they're going to work that in. I have no idea.
Man, I hope it happens. I highly doubt it's going to happen. But I think to make the Judgment Day even better than what it is and more relevant is you have Andrade turn and join them.
That would make sense.
He reminds me of Ted DiBiase, Mr. Perfect.
Yeah.
They are just great heels.
Yeah.
He is a great heel. He's a good face, but man, when he's a heel, it's just money.
So you think it's something, a line of where tonight maybe he turns on Ricochet and joins the Judgment Day?
I actually have my fingers crossed. I'm hoping that that's what happens.
Because they have to. I know we're all over the place, but to keep the Judgment Day relevant,
and
they have to keep relevant because that's Raw. You got to keep relevant to compete with SmackDown because SmackDown's got a hell of a story going on, and it's not about Cody Rhodes.
Well, and here's the thing, because we already know the draft. Cody's going to SmackDown because he's the WWE champion,
right?
So he'll be going there. But this is what I was going to say. You look at the comparison, not knocking any of the wrestlers or anything, but look at who Raw has and who SmackDown has. Raw, you have Damian Priest. You got Rhea. She's hurt right now. You got Becky Lynch. You got Nia. You got Finn. You got Seth, who Seth is probably going to take some time to heal.
Yep.
You got Drew McIntyre. You got Sami Zayn. You got Gunther. You got quite a few good people.
Right.
And I'm not going to forget, that whole heel turn on Chad Gable. We'll talk about that, but
yeah,
that was awesome.
Awesome.
You look at SmackDown, man. SmackDown, you got the bloodline, just the bloodline alone, not even putting anybody else in there. The bloodline alone takes all the attention. But then, now you got Cody Rhodes going to be on there. And you got that. We got to see what's going to happen with Jimmy. He's not going to go away quietly. And we know that Roman's going to come back, so that's going to be freaking awesome. You got LA Knight. You got AJ Styles. You got the Street Profits. You got A-Town Down Under. And, sorry, I forgot to mention, Sheamus came back on Raw. That was awesome. I like Sheamus.
Except for he's out of shape as shit.
Yeah, he's not like he used to be.
No, dude. I was like, you got too many cookies off your break. What are you doing? No.
But with the girls, sorry, I'll make it short. With the girls, look at the girls. You have the tag team now with Jade and Bianca. You got Damage Control. You got Charlotte, who's still on the shelf, but she's coming back. You got Tiffany Stratton. You got Naomi. You got this. I just think SmackDown's got a better roster.
So, you talk about the draft. No, Dad, there's no guesses, just me and Rico talking wrestling. So if you want to talk wrestling, hey, this is your place to be. If you don't, then I'm sorry. But yeah. No guests lined up. Sorry. But here's my question, man. Hey, hold on. Just a second, Rico. Go ahead and talk.
No, I just I hope everybody kind of sees where I'm going with that. Not knocking anybody on Raw, but yeah. Give a shout out, leave a comment, let me know if you agree or not that SmackDown has the better roster. I personally believe they do. They've shown it. Their storylines just gel better than
So I got
Raw.
a question, Rico.
Yes.
I'm not a booker. I'd like to think I'm be okay doing whatever. At least I think I would do this because SmackDown has the Bloodline and the Jade Cargill tag team and Kevin Owens and A-Town Down, all those guys, right? Would it be beneficial for Damian Priest to bring his title over to SmackDown with the Judgment Day? Follow me. And put Cody Rhodes on Raw, where there's a weaker roster to give him more of the attention, because right now on SmackDown, in my opinion, again, it's just as a fan looking in, SmackDown, in my opinion, is all about the Usos right now. All about the Bloodline and all the directions that Solo Sikoa, which is a dumbass looking freaking Roman Reigns. I'm just gonna say that. I can't stand that stupid person in a suit. That was awful. Anyway, but do you see what I'm saying, mate? Because I believe in my heart. I'm not the greatest fan of Cody Rhodes, but with the Bloodline storyline that's going on over at SmackDown, I think he will get lost in the shuffle, and it'd be just a piss in the wind champion. I don't want to see that for him. I want to see him build his own story. I just don't see I don't think he can do it with the Usos on that show with the Bloodline. That's why I watch. I don't watch it for Cody Rhodes. I watch it for the Bloodline. So that stuff's gold.
Everybody watches it for the ones.
That's right. So, is it a bad idea for Cody Rhodes to take that belt to SmackDown? I don't know.
It's hard because I'm looking at it from the business side, where they've already got all the world champions are going to be on Raw. SmackDown's going to be WWE champions. But now, what? A big what? Big what? What if the Bloodline goes to Raw and Judgment Day goes to SmackDown, and Damian stays on Raw?
I don't know.
That's the thing I love about the draft. You just don't know what's going to happen.
Right. And what my concern is about this draft coming up and where the talent is I said it when Cody Rhodes finished his story. He can't be in the same show as the Usos. Because there's not going to, I don't think it's going to work. And they're not going to have, you're going to have two parts of the show. The Cody Rhodes part and the Usos part. And everything else is going to get blown. Bleh, it's going to be garbage. I just don't know. And if you look at money, if you look at rating wise, I don't know. I don't know.
Hold on. Sorry. Go ahead, chat. Just give me one quick second.
It's interesting to me that I don't know anybody out there that I don't know if anybody agrees with me. I think that it's going to be hard to have both Roman Reigns and the Cody Rhodes and the Usos on the same show. It's going to be hard, I think, and it's not going to equal to give them the space that they need. Because if they want Cody Rhodes as a champion, they're going to have to give him the space. They're going to have to give him the storyline. They're going to have to give him everything. You know what I'm saying? That's what my fear is. And that's why fear was when they had him finish the story. I hope the same thing AEW. I hope WWE is smarter than that and doesn't do what they did with Cody Rhodes at AEW.
No,
before you know it,
they will.
I hope not, because before you know it, Cody Rhodes was a mid,
Mm-hmm.
and he deserves something better than being a mid.
Well, look at his first title defense, man.
Yeah.
Look at his first title defense. That's no joke. That's freaking AJ Styles.
Yes. I'm glad AJ got that. I mean, he beat LA Knight for that, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm an LA Knight fan, and we talked about this last week. We all said, and I think maybe you were the only one that disagreed. We all agree that right now AJ really doesn't need a belt. But that man has put in the work. And if you look at that son of a gun, you'll see what I'm talking about. He is jacked
Yes.
up, bigger than, better than ever. And it won't happen. Whoever thinks Cody Rhodes can get beat by AJ Styles is out their God-loving mind. But that's more of a realistic challenge.
Mm-hmm.
The phenomenal one.
And
that's gonna be a banger of a match.
And you know, I do agree with you guys saying that he doesn't need a belt. He really doesn't. Just me personally, I think he deserves it.
Okay,
He
so here's
really
a question.
Deserves it.
Here's the question, Rico. You were a Cody Rhodes fan. You wanted Cody Rhodes to win the belt to finish the story.
Well, let's get one thing straight. I'm all about Roman. You guys know I'm all about Roman.
But
yes, I said that he should finish the story.
You're on the Cody Rhodes train. You were finish the one, bit of one. For AJ Styles, for anybody to how do I say this? That would be a hell of a fight. That's going to be a realistic fight. That's going to be, yes, I have no questions asked there. But realistically, do you think they would take the title off Cody Rhodes a month after he won it?
No. Not after beating someone like Roman.
Right.
That would be beyond ridiculous.
Now, do they have to save that title to lose the title? They have to save it till Rock or Roman Reigns come back?
I think because I just say this because Roman had that built up so well that if you don't lose it to Roman, you better lose it to somebody who's up there. Because and AJ is up there.
So you'd put AJ Styles on the same threshold as Roman Reigns.
Sorry, AJ, I love you, but I put Roman just a little higher.
He's great. He's good. AJ's one of the best. I ain't gonna say that.
I say AJ's a better worker, like wrestler.
Okay. That's fair.
AJ's a better wrestler.
That's fair.
Hands down. Love your Roman, sorry, but AJ is the better wrestler.
That's fair.
Roman is the better entertainer.
Yes, 100%.
That's why I kind of, the business that they're in, I put Roman just a little bit higher than AJ.
So there's rumors out there that I think tonight you're gonna see another match. I don't like this, but Awesome Truth, Miz and R-Truth versus DIY for the World Tag Team titles. The question I have for you, Rico, Awesome Truth's Tag Team title reign. Should it be short-lived? Or will it be short-lived?
It will be short-lived.
You think so?
But, like I said, this is Hunter's game. We don't know. Because he's got the utmost respect for Truth. He truly does. And for the Miz. You look at, we talked about it last week. Miz is one of those guys who has knock on wood, has not got injured. Did not have to take time off or anything. He worked everything around wrestling. Everything he's done, he worked his schedule around wrestling. And Vince even said himself years ago, was like, Miz is, you ask him to do something, boom, he's there.
Yeah.
No questions asked. So I wonder, just out of how devoted they are, that they get a medium reign. Not very long, but not like they're going to lose it tonight.
So what's the conversation is, and I'm taking this from, I take a lot of information that I read on is from Bleacher Report. So I am saying this, it's not I do read some stuff off Bleacher Report, so no copyright there. They're saying that, so one of the people on Bleacher Report says, if DIY loses to R-Truth and The Miz, this will be the third time in 3 months that DIY falls short of the goal. These guys believe to save their anything to be salvaged from their career, DIY, sort of breaking them up. A move to SmackDown would be the only way to save them and refurbish them. So do you see is the better option to have them lose and regroup with them on SmackDown, or just take the belts off R-Truth and The Miz to have them, the belts stay on Raw and give DIY the push that they probably deserved? Gargano and Ciampa probably deserved this 2 years ago, coming out of NXT. So but then if you do take it off for R-Truth, what are you going to do? Put him back in the stupid gimmick role?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's just a conversation that we could probably have for quite a while. So what's your thoughts on that?
Well, you just said it right there. It's like Truth, who has played the gimmick role over and over. He's freaking great. He nails it every time. But it's like someone like that who can wrestle. You watch him wrestle, you're like, man, this guy can wrestle. But if you keep him in that gimmick role, it's just you're not giving him that chance to. You're not giving him that push.
Right.
And that's where I see that they are going to get a push. So I say, yeah, DIY. Actually, I think it may be better for them to go to SmackDown.
Okay. Because in this article, they're talking about when Cody Rhodes won the belt at WrestleMania, it was about the story. Everything was about the story. All parts of it. And they're saying this Miz and R-Truth winning the belts at the ladder match was about the moment. The moment compared to the story. The storyline, we talk about moments all the time. Mm-hmm. We'll remember that moment with R-Truth. I remember many moments with R-Truth with the belts and stuff. Is it okay to be about the moments? And is that a good enough reason why they don't need the titles anymore? Because it created that moment.
No, I think they need the title just a little bit longer. I really do.
I think so too. I think it's a joke it's a joke on WWE if WWE gives the belts to R-Truth and The Miz, and then you take it away and 2 weeks later. That's ridiculous.
Well, let's look at this. Let's look at the stats on who has been or who is still wrestling right now that has been there longer than Miz and R-Truth.
That's a history question, dude, and I have no idea.
Because if you look at the roster, nobody.
No.
And I just say that because, they are probably coming up towards the end to where they might hang it up, start doing some backstage stuff or something else.
Right. Yeah.
It's time to let them fully shine while they still can.
Right. And so that switches from the WWE R-Truth and The Miz and their tag team title runs. Should they have it? Should they not? Something happened on Dynasty last night, AEW Dynasty, that I'm like, not sure if I would have done that. Of course, a lot of people would say that about Tony Khan and his habits that he does and how he picks matches and how he picks winners.
Yeah, where's Cody at, man? I love his Tony Khan responses.
I mean, I'll be sure to bring it up tomorrow night because I want to hear his response. But interesting as it is, last night, we all know who Hook is. If I don't know who Hook is, I'll give you an education. Taz from the WCW, WWE. We know him as Taz. Great, phenomenal wrestler. Great announcer for AEW. ECW guy. The man is a genius. That's when wrestling was cool. Wrestling is getting cooler now. But Taz has a son named Hook. Hook is a young man in AEW trying to get his way up. Last night they had a match. It was Jericho versus Hook. And if as a fan looking outside before that match even happened, I think Rico would agree with me. We say this about a lot of wrestlers. They do not need to win. They need to be putting kids over.
Mm-hmm.
Damian Wayne was on the other night with Christian Blake, indie wrestler. That conversation happened there too. Damian Wayne says, "Hey, if I don't win, that's good. But what my job is when I come into these indie promotions is to put people over."
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's 52 years old. Damian Wayne don't need to win another match. He's gold. Let's fast forward to AEW last night. Chris Jericho doesn't need to win another title. But unfortunately, last night, AEW Dynasty, Chris Jericho became I don't know what title
what was it? The
FTW?
Something like the FTW.
He won the FTW. Well, that title don't make shit to anybody anyways, but FTW over there, whatever, one of their titles over at AEW. And Chris Jericho beat Hook, and I'm like, why? So I don't know if there's anybody out there watching that knows about wrestling. Tell me why Chris Jericho needed to win and beat Hook. Adrian Whispers in the house. It's the Gangster of Destruction, so you know what's going down. Hey, Adrian. Adrian Whispers.
Going on, man.
Let's get your opinion on this. We're just talking AEW, Dynasty, and et cetera, et cetera. Did Chris Jericho need to beat Hook, or should he have put Hook over? That's your first question.
Yeah, I'm going to answer before he does. I don't think he should have put him, or I think he should have put him over. Sorry. He did not need to win that. That kind of reminds me of some WCW times when the elderly guys are winning that don't need to win. They should be putting people over.
Yeah. So I agree, man. So being that the boss is in the house, I will tell that Rico asked me this earlier before we went live. So, but I'm going to answer the question, Rico. Rico and I were part of the Controversial Inc. and how do we say the name? Lacora, the mystery partner tag team against Controversial Inc. on Thursday. The money's on the chase. The more he gets fucked, the more he means. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I get that. I guess so. And I wish they would have used that for Cody Rhodes too. There's more money in the chase. But that makes sense. I guess the money's in the chase. So yeah. Mm-hmm. Anyways, probably my favorite part of this of XIW Extreme Impact Wrestling on Saturday, Rico, was Controversial Inc. Lacrae or whatever their name is. Lacor, I don't know. Ray Fury. Anyways, they were fighting. They, of course, Controversial Inc. won.
You know they're going to come on, just as, not to interrupt you, they're going to come on here and give you so much crap.
Well,
for slaughtering their name.
Yep. Oh, well, who cares? Anyways, of course, Controversial Inc. won in controversial fashion. And at the end of the match, we went to a break, 15-minute break. And while I was there, Ray Fury came over and they were talking, and all of a sudden we got interrupted by Controversial Inc. And a brawl ensued right around the podcast booth, and guys from the back came in, and they started. Damian Wayne came in, Jackson Slade came in, all those guys came in, and they went away from the booth, went out in the audience and stuff like that, and it was just insane. And it was about because Controversial Inc. thought their time was abused by the Lucha Boys, and so that happened. So it was fun. Then Adrian Whisper had to come in and put his 2 cents in. So But all around good show, Rico. If I was you, I'd watch it. None of that was scripted either. I didn't think so, but I was like, damn. But it was, you watch the show. It was interesting. It was different for XIW. Would you agree? It was different for XIW. There wasn't any blood like normal, but it was fun and it was a good turnout. I think Adrian said there was over like about 200 people in the audience, so it was pretty packed. But yeah, go ahead and watch that show, man. Enrique, you'll love it. So, but yeah, Hook won. Hook beat Jericho beat Hook. Then the other thing that happened on AEW last night was, in my opinion, was stupid as shit. The Young Sucks, the Young Bucks. The EVPs got their way into a championship match, and they came out tag team champions for AEW. And at the end of the day, guess who shows up? Good old Jack Perry, the guy that was involved in the Chaos.
Mm-hmm.
Well, last Chaos was CM Punk, and now he's teaming up with the Young Bucks. So I'm like, but so yeah, that was AEW last night. So SmackDown, man.
Yeah, see, sorry, and I'm going to say this. I don't dislike AEW, but it's not like back when you paid for a pay-per-view for WWE. I'd be throwing down for that $60 to watch that pay-per-view. AEW, I said, nah, I can wait. I was like, I can wait.
Right. Oh, and I forgot. Yes, watch this. Adrian, I was almost positive you were straight shooting there. But there was a moment, so I'll speed you up a little bit, Rico, on a storyline that's been going on for 2 years. Jackson Slade is Adrian Whisper's bio son. Okay. Jackson Slade has been traveling the roads with Adrian Whisper when Adrian Whisper was a wrestler. Now, Jackson Slade, fast forward, Jackson Slade comes into XIW and he's winning, but his dad is screwing him over. So Adrian Whisper is screwing him over for the past year and a half. Blah, blah, blah. They've had this thing going back and forth, war going back and forth. And then John Saxton, who is just a guy on the XIW roster, he comes in and he takes Jackson Slade by the arm and just tells him to come over to his side, and he'll show you what a loving dad is. Blah 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 blah. We'll make money. We'll do this, do that, do this, do that. Chaos in the Cage. John Saxton, Jackson Slade, and Vordell Walker were champions going into Chaos in the Cage under John Saxton's control. They came out of Chaos in the Cage, now not champions. So I've been giving them shit. I've been giving John Saxton shit about being a puppeteer, being a loser, taking talent and making them lose their belts, etc., etc. So on Saturday, this whole storyline went to the next level, and they had to name a new commissioner of XIW. Mm-hmm. Well, that new commissioner ended up being announced as John Saxton's firstborn child. This boy rolls up in a wheelchair. Obviously, I don't know if he's what the condition really is, so I'm not going to say that, but he's obviously in a medical condition. And Adrian Whisper went, you'll see it on the video, he went full, you're a shitty dad mode on John Saxton. And John Saxton was almost in tears. It was that good.
Right, but that's bringing real emotions out, and that's what makes it awesome right there.
Yes, and that's what XIW is about. They broke his neck in above ground pool. So, but the storyline is now John Saxton more about his career than caring about his son, where Adrian Whisper was the dad that brought Jackson Slade along with him on the road trips. At least he was there for his son, Jackson, when John Saxton left his son because his son was paralyzed. So it's a good story, good first introduction to that story. It's going to be good. XIW, it's going to be good for the next year with if they run this storyline. So we'll see. 2024 is going to be interesting. But
yeah, I can't wait to see that.
yeah, let's talk about these stupid looking belts. I cannot stand the tag team belts for Raw, especially after seeing the new tag team belts for SmackDown.
It really just looks like a miniaturized world title.
Yes.
Like Damien's title, just a little bit smaller.
Yes. So that was, I don't know, that was But the big story is another family story. And I like family stories because that's what makes it interesting. Solo Sikoa and his buddy, his brother, little brother, I guess, that's plot 2, right?
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but I really don't think that they're fully blood related.
Okay.
Because it was, Rikishi's and Haku was
yes.
Tama's dad. They're not blood related, but they, they're just all real tight. All the Samoans.
Okay.
If I'm correct on that, I believe that's what I was reading.
I love what they're doing. I love how they're bringing Jim. You got to believe that Jay's going to join Jimmy again. You got to believe that. That's just in their works because Solo looks like a bitch. And he looks horrible in a suit. He can't talk on the mic to save his ass. And Paul Heyman looks scared. And it was just, I mean, I want to get back. I want to like that. I want to like the bloodline, the new stuff. But Adrian Whisper says the new belts for Raw look like a Jiffy Pop popcorn top after you pop the popcorn. You ain't wrong. You're not wrong.
Oh man.
So yeah, I mean SmackDown was good. We've seen Naomi and Bayley. That was fun. Seeing Naomi back in there again.
But I gotta say, I loved when Damage Control was all running their mouth, and then you heard that music hit. I was like, yes. So I said it. Her and Bianca were gonna team up.
Yep. That was sick. So, but I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting to see what happened. What's the future of SmackDown and Raw? Where they're gonna go with the draft? When is the draft next week?
It starts this Friday.
This Friday, okay. Man, do you see a lot of mix-up going on in that draft?
That's where I would normally say no, but this time, man, this new era, man, anything can happen, and I'm expecting anything to happen.
Yeah,
like now's the perfect time where Gunther's not a champion. Move him to SmackDown.
If you're gonna take Cody Rhodes to SmackDown, you better move Gunther to SmackDown.
Yep. You can have him face off it. Build up a little story with those two.
Yeah.
There's, like I said, I would like to prefer to see like a Tiffany Stratton. I think she's great. I prefer to see her on a Raw. That would help build Raw up a little bit and give her a shot, going at a title.
Right. So I'm going to send Adrian Whisper a podcast a link to get on this. I want him to share with us about the gauntlet match that we're going to see in June. So Adrian, if you're still there, click on that link and get in here. If you don't mind, Rico.
Oh, by all means, man. Yeah, I just, like I said, there's a couple of mix-ups we can have happen to make it interesting.
Yeah. I want to bring the Bring Man on here to give his rundown of this of his XIW show. But no, yeah, it's a lot can happen. There's a lot of open areas for WWE and to move with their stuff, and They are saying, though, I gotta say this: AEW had a match with Will Ospreay and Danielson. They are saying that was match of the year already. No, Dave Meltzer, in other words, and for instance, said, "Might as well not even wrestle no more. Don't wrestle for the next 8 months because you already seen your match of the year." Let me tell you, they put on a show. Whisper, where'd you go?
I'll have to check that out and see, man, because like I said, I just didn't want to pay for it, but Bryan Danielson, I love that guy.
Yeah.
I love his wrestling. I just love him. He's good all around.
Yeah. 100%. He is good. And
Will Ospreay was a good signing for them. That really was.
yeah, 100%. So we got Raw tomorrow, or we got Raw talk. We talk Raw tomorrow. Lots going on for Hughes Pop Wrestling Podcast. Rico is, I don't know if he'll be more available other than 2 days. He has his new job that makes it easier for him to be home. So that's good. Whisper, you back on here? Log in, man. There he is. There's the Cat Daddy.
What's up, my brother?
What's going on?
So, first of all, I need to introduce you to my buddy Rico. That's my son's. We share the same grandkids, so
Yeah.
his daughter is my son's wife and stuff like that. So that's why we got this. Tomorrow's show is Pop's World Order. So it's just him and I. We talk more wrestling and stuff like that. So I brought you on here, man, because I want you to talk about XIW Gauntlet that you guys are doing in June and what competitors are going to be in it. And just give us, as a man that's running the show or partly running the show, what's your feelings when we're on the XIW event that we witnessed on Saturday?
Well, to be honest with you, man, I can say it was nothing other than a success because the new building, new first show of the year, which we should have done be our second show. We should have did one in February, but due to the Travel Lodge selling the venue, we had to find another one, and it took 4 months to find it. We had a max capacity of 320 people going in. When the fire marshal got there and our setup, it dropped it down to 220. We had 158 paid. So if you want my opinion on how the show is, come June 15th, we're going to have that max capacity there because we locked in a whole lot of new people on Saturday night.
Right. I mean, storylines. Talk about the storylines, my guy. You guys created a lot of different storyline angles, and I mean, you had La Brava versus Erica, a new up-and-coming female wrestler. She put on a banger of a show.
Yeah, they tore the house down. I'll have to say that. But we got more in store for La Brava. We have Tony Storm supposed to be coming in August, facing La Brava for the XIW Women's Championship. And I'm really looking forward to that. And if we can, we're going to have Erica back, and we're going to make it a triple threat. So if she signs in on that, then I think that's going to be one of the top contenders to get that actual best match of the night bonus.
Yeah, and see what XIW does. What I speed you up a little bit, Rico. At the end of the night, Adrian gets on the mic and he goes through the matches and says, "Hey, what was the crowd favorite?" And the crowd gets to pick what the favorite wrestling match of the night is. And at the end of that, after they pick out who the wrestling match of the night is, that group of wrestlers get a bonus upon what they are already going to get from XIW management. So
nice.
That's pretty cool.
That's would not be lying if I said my company is probably the only company in all of independent wrestling that does that.
That's sweet right there, man. That's after you make people shed tears.
Oh, exactly, brother. We're about making a moment and stirring up some fucking shit. He does a good job of it himself, but he still got a long way to go to catch up with Big Daddy Rabbit.
I was giving shit to Sal. I thought I had Sal. I think I'm in Sal's ear. Big Sal Tortorio.
Mm-hmm.
He is along
I
with.
I don't know who was louder. You or the sound guy, because both of y'all was popping all freaking night.
So Sal is under the control of John Saxon. Okay, so John Saxon is, I call him Puppet Boy, but Sal is huge. Sal's like 6'3", 290. Don't need anything. 390. I don't know how big that motherfucker is,
Try
but he's big.
290.
290. Dude's
Yep.
a
Foot
shit
six.
house. So I'm just over there going, dude, Sal, man, you're good without. You don't need John. You don't need John, dude. And I thought there was a time where he was going to go, you're right. But I anticipate John Saxon wishing he was not part of XIW in a couple of months.
He doesn't need John Saxon. John Saxon needs him.
Yes.
Mm.
So
That's the only way the Dying Breed is going to stay together. Granted, Vordell Walker will be back in June, who is another member of that Dying Breed faction. So the heavyweight gauntlet come June 15th is going to be full of some very big guys and some very mean guys. We might even have Eddie Torres back. We're not sure yet. We're trying to check on that. And he's wrestling now as a singles competitor, not a tag team anymore with State Line. So you know how dominating he was in the past.
Yeah.
I could only imagine him coming in with the mindset and focus of trying to win the heavyweight title.
It's Slade in that? Will he be in that match?
Yeah, and this will be the only spoiler I give you. I'll make him come in first.
All right.
Ooh.
And I already stated at the show, Malik Avalon will be last.
We got a gauntlet. How many guys are in this gauntlet? How many guys? 15?
I think there's going to be 8 guys in it.
8 guys? Okay.
8 guys.
Yeah, and we're going to do 2 at a time. No one else enters the ring until someone has been submitted or defeated or counted out or what have you, however they lose. And then automatically whoever's left in the ring will have to face the next one, and then the next one, and then the next one till the last man standing.
And I have a feeling this is a good way to get rid of the Dying Breed, if you follow what I'm saying.
I couldn't really say that I would want to get rid of the Dying Breed just yet, because we have some very, very young, up and coming good guys that we're training at the moment. And for those guys to be able to be that ultimate good guy, that protagonist has to have the antagonist. And there's no one better at being bad guys on our roster than the Dying Breed. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
I'm just going to call a spade a spade. Do I like them? No, I don't. But they're the guys right now. You know what I'm saying? Even though they don't have belts, they're the biggest guys on the roster. And when you're the biggest guy on the roster, you're either looking at it one or two ways. You're a big fish in a small pond, or either you're a big bully in the courtyard. Which one have they proved to be? They're not the big fish in a small pond, because XIW is growing faster and faster every show. The bottom line is they know where they stand in this company. They know their value in this company. And without that antagonist, the company really can't make money with a protagonist without somebody to be his nemesis.
There you go. And I can tell you what, one of their up and coming stars, Rico, is, and I think he is. I give him shit. I can't stand the guy because he comes off with the cocky ass attitude, and it's just who he is. But there's a dude, Bubba Shaddix.
That's my nephew, baby. One of the 7 Stiffs. Holla.
You can tell that he is being trained, or he's learning from Big Papa Whisper, because this kid, and he's gotten, I would say this, from the first time I seen him to last on Saturday, worlds different. This kid can go.
Well,
yeah, but that attitude and cockiness is awesome, though, man. I love the heels.
Well, what everyone doesn't understand about Bubba, and that's my blood nephew, is in order to get your character over, it has to be an extension of who you are. the closest thing to Bubba as a gimmick is him not being at a show. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Bubba he is totally old school, even though he's only 27 years old. He's old school. He was trained old school. We made him this way for a reason. You won't never see him out there signing autographs. You won't never see him out there selling pictures. He says, I don't need to worry about selling gimmicks. He said, I make my money. I get paid. I don't have to go out there and suck nobody's dick and say, hey, buy a picture from me. And that's what he'll look at you and tell you.
Straight up, because he reminded me, he had a towel over his head all day long. Reminded me of Taz, walking around the towel, not even talking to nobody. I said hi to him from the announce table, from my table, didn't say a word, walked by me, walked by everybody, doesn't do it. So the gimmick, or the thing that Whisper just said, is true. He lives it. That's how he is. And it is good. So yeah, he's good.
Well, you have to understand one thing as well. Bubba's been in the business for about 12 years now, 13 years.
Okay.
Man, the Forbidden Zittles is off the freaking chart. I'm here to tell you. Gotta love Florida and their medical cards, baby. Yes, sir. But
Yeah,
Bubba given that opportunity to show the office that he can carry the company. He can carry that division. He's always been the guy, hey, let's make them look better. Let's make them look better. You know what I'm saying? And he got mad, left the States, went to Mexico, trained there for a couple of years, come back and was 10 tiers higher than what he was when he left. And he come back and he hit me up. He said, Unc, I'm back. I'm back. I said, back? What do you mean you back? He said, man, I'm back in Atmore. He said, what's going on? I said, well, man, I'm kicking XIW off. We had a guy that no-showed or has canceled, and I need somebody to work Damian Wayne in our very first match. I said, I know you're not heavyweight material. I said, but you can go, and we'll do what we can to make this go further. And as when he come back, he said, hell yeah. He said, I'll come back. And he hadn't wrestled in 3 years. All he did was train in Mexico. He didn't wrestle none. He just trained. And we brought him in, and I'll be damned if he didn't take Damian Wayne almost to the brink. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And we had already had plans for our middleweight division, and it was going to revolve around, at that time, was BTY, Zane Stevens, $1 Million Mullet, Zach Mosley from Exotic Youth, and Malik Avalon. Malik Avalon was actually, when I first started running XIW, was my first ever middleweight champion. He was the longest reigning middleweight champion until Zach Mosley won the belt. And he just happened to win that on a spoof, you know what I'm saying? But he was so dedicated to that middleweight division, it just kept carrying on and carrying on and carrying on. And he had the belt for a little over a year and a half. And Malik took it over, or took it from him. And he lost to my nephew, Bubba. And I'm not going to say I wasn't in his head when he pulled the bottle out, you know what I'm saying? Because like I told Bubba, it doesn't matter how well you wrestle. It doesn't matter what you do unless you can get those people invested in you. I said, and for you to get that, for you to make that happen, you're going to have to start going to some extreme measures, dude. I said, I don't get win at any cost. You go there and you make sure when you leave that building at the end of the night that nobody in that building talks about anybody but you. I don't give a shit what you have to do. That's what put me where I was at. That's what kept me at the top. I don't care if I opened the card or if I was main event. When I left there, they was talking about nobody but me, because when I left there, it was balls to the wall and they knew it. You know what I'm saying? And to me, my character in the wrestling, just like with Bubba, is not a gimmick. It's an extension of who I am. And I connect with the people. People see me and they're like, oh man, I can feel what he's saying. I can understand what he's saying, which is another reason why the storylines that we do are elementary. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing that's woven into this and spun in to be all dramatic and everything. We tell stories that the audience can get invested in and can relate to without having to spell it out for them. And when we started this the other night, or Saturday night, and me revealing John Saxon's biological son as our new commissioner, he knew we was going to cut a promo, but he didn't know that I was going to shoot. You know what I'm saying? And the whole thing is if you want to do this, let's do this, because I want everybody else in that audience ready to whoop your ass, not because you a prick, but because you're a sorry ass dad. How many other kids out here have been treated the same way? So let's expose you for what you are. And that was all a straight shoot. You know what I'm saying? His mother lived in Louisiana. Saxon was in Mississippi. Well, none of that would have ever took place if shit wouldn't have happened in Saxon's life and wrestling with his tag team partner that spun his life in a 180. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And from that moment on, Saxon wasn't a character. For his actual name is Mark Thompson. It wasn't a character anymore. That was who he become. And for 30 years, that's all he knew. You know what I'm saying? Right. And it was always him chasing that dream to the next level, trying to get that contract. I wrestled with WWE on dark matches. He's wrestled with WWE on dark matches. And they didn't want nobody that was smart. They wanted people that could control them. You know what I'm saying?
Right. What happened? There he goes. So, well, man, it's out. We're time to get off here, but I want Adrian Whisper, XIW. Can you close the show? I can't hear you, man. You hear him?
I don't know if he can. No, I can't hear him either.
Can't hear you. There you go. Can you hear me now?
Nah, something happened because the screen went black and he came back and we couldn't hear him.
So, Huge Pop Wrestling fans, we will have Adrian Whisper on again. I don't know. Thanks, man. He'll be on to tell a story more about XIW come last part of May, first part of June. But Rico, till tomorrow, man.
Oh yeah.
Huge Pop Wrestling to talk Raw tomorrow. We will have the infamous Cody Cornette with us on the show. We will have Sin come back, and Adrian Whisper is still trying to get his microphone or whatever here. I don't know, but Adrian, if you can hear me, we're signing off. I will have you back on to continue your talk. I appreciate you. Huge Pop Wrestling Podcast, guys. We're out.
All my dogs, make some noise up in this house.
Who is in the house? Who is in the house? It's the gangster of destruction, so you know what's going down. And when the drive-by's coming, then you better hit the grind. Cause when your body hits the canvas, then your head is knocked out. Who is in the house? Who is in the house? It's the gangster of destruction, so you know what's going down. And when the drive-by's coming, then you better hit the grind. Cause when your body hits the canvas, then your head is knocked out. Fight with Adrian Whisper is like a fight with the devil, because when he's dealing with you, you cannot get on this level. Fight with Adrian Whisper is like a fight with a king. It's like a fight with an army. They got the tanks and everything. He's leaving bruises and stitches, possibly leaving you crippled. Cause when he sets up the table and sends you straight through the middle. 6 sadistic free, beat that ass with a light bulb. Leave a piece of glass embedded in the back of your skull. Who is in the house? Who is in the house? It's the gangster of destruction, so you know what's going down. And when the drive-by's coming, then you better hit the ground. Cause when your body hits the canvas, then your ass is knocked out. Who is in the house? Who is in the house? It's the gangster of destruction, so you know what's going down. And when the drive-by's coming, then you better hit the ground. Cause when your body hits the canvas, then your ass is knocked out.